Hey YouTube, this is Steve from Average Joe's Fantasy Football, and we've got your Week 10 start and sit video for the running back position. If you haven't already, check out all my other start and sit videos to help you guys out with your lineup questions, of course. And if you guys do have questions, hit me up in the comments down below, and we're going to jump right into it. So again, week 10 of the NFL is here, and I've got your running back start and sit video to help you guys out with your lineup questions. There are 4 teams on the bye. You've got the Steelers, Raiders, Packers, and Seahawks not playing. So you've got some pretty good running backs that are not going to be in the lineup this week. But hopefully this helps you guys figure out some players that you should put in just to kind of help answer those things. Now, these are your obvious starts at the running back position. These guys should be in your lineup no matter what, whether it be matchup or they just are that person. These guys are always going to have some success. So again, these are your obvious starts. Now, my first running back I want to mention as a good start this week is going to be Tyrone Tracy Jr. versus the Panthers. This is the early Sunday game in Germany. Tracy has essentially taken over the starting job from Devin Singletary, and he has shown why. In the last 5 games, Tracy has averaged 82 yards on the ground. He's averaged 14.7 points in fantasy, and he's got a great matchup this week against the Panthers, who are allowing the most on the ground with 132 rushing yards and allowing 19.3 points per game. This is a game that Giants should end up winning, but who knows? Panthers could obviously put up a fight. I think Bryce Young is really feeling a lot better, especially after the benching and what has happened to him. But there are a lot of still question marks with this offense. Well, there's a lot of question marks for the defense, and I think Giants are just a little bit more talented that pull off the victory, and I really like this matchup for Tracy Jr. Another running back I like this week is going to be DeAndre Swift versus the Patriots. Now, I don't love the matchup for Caleb Williams, like I mentioned in my start and sit video for the quarterback, but I do like this matchup for Swift. Patriots are allowing 124 yards on the ground and allowed 17 points per game in fantasy. They also have allowed a touchdown per game to the running back as well. Swift is in a nice little hot streak and has averaged 20.9 points per game. He's got 6 touchdowns in 5 games and 123 yards total in those 5 games as well. So again, ever since he kind of hit that hot streak, he's been amazing. And again, Swift should be in your lineup this week. He's got a great matchup. Another running back matchup I love this week is going to be James Cook versus the Colts. Colts are allowing 87 yards on the ground to running backs and 16.4 points a game. Cook has seen Ray Davis getting some more touches, but I still think Cook is going to obviously see his average of 55% snap share essentially stay the same. That's kind of where he's been at all season, even before Ray Davis has kind of gotten involved. Now, James Cook has seen at least 10 touches on the ground and should be utilized a lot more in this game against the Colts. They should be able to be ahead, giving him a lot more opportunities to run this game out. I just like this matchup. I know James Cook hasn't been as effective or as great as he could be. I think the offense is just fluctuating, and they do like Ray Davis a lot, but I still think James Cook is a great start this week. And another running back, and last one, is going to be Najee Harris versus the Commanders. The Commanders are allowing a touchdown per game to the running back position and allowing 15.9 points a game. Najee has had over 100 rushing yards in each of the last 3 games. Ever since Russell Wilson has been essentially behind center, teams are respecting his throwing ability, allowing for lanes to open up a lot more for Najee than it has in the past. I think the defenses are obviously respecting Russell Wilson, which has been great. In the 3-game streak, though, I will give him this. He scored 2 out of 3, averaging 17.5 points. So again, he's over 17 points in most of the games in the last 3 games, which is fantastic. Ever since Russell's come in, the whole offense has kind of changed, and Najee is in a great position this week. Now, going into the sits, I've got Javonte Williams as a running back I'm not trusting this week against the Chiefs. The Chiefs are allowed the fewest rushing yards with only 59 yards per game. They also have only allowed 3 touchdowns so far to running backs. Javonte has shown flashes, but he's way too inconsistent, and the matchup is not great. This is a matchup where maybe it gets a few receptions to kind of help you out with your, if you have to start him. But the Chiefs should be up pretty big against the Broncos. I expect them to be up by at least 2 touchdowns in this game. which is going to help negate Javonte Williams, where I think he's a lot better runner. I know he shows flashes in the receiving aspect, but not enough to put him in your lineup where he's going to make up for it on that end. Another running back I don't like this week is going to be Tony Pollard versus the Chargers. Chargers have been actually really tough against running backs, only allowing 12.3 points per game and have only allowed 1 touchdown so far this season on the ground. And that was in week 4. We're in week 10. That's how crazy the Chargers defense has been. Chargers have also kept running backs to only 56 yards on the ground. Pollard has been a great running back too this season, and he's averaged 14 points per game. But again, the matchup is not great. Maybe he salvages it with some receptions. Maybe he gets a touchdown if lucky. But the stats don't say it. The stats are saying no. I think this is going to be a really tough one. And the last running back I want to mention as a sit, Rico Dowdle versus the Eagles. After the Cowboys lost Dak Prescott, essentially the value of really any offensive player on the Cowboys have just drastically taken a hit. Rico was on a nice little streak. In the last 4 games he's played, he's averaged 16 points per game in fantasy. In the last 2 games he's played, he's seen 12 receptions. And now he's facing a tough Eagles defense that hold running backs to 9 points per game and holding them to only 51 rushing yards. And we're talking the running back one. So Dowdle may get some touches, he may get some receptions, and maybe if he keeps that 6 reception streak going in the last, like he has in the last 2 games, maybe he's a decent flex play. That's it. But this matchup scares me. You got Cooper Rush in there. I don't know what this is going to look like. The offensive line is still struggling. You got the 2 rookies that are adapting and figuring things out. I would stay away from him. Now, I've got one running back as a sleeper this week. I got J.K. Dobbins versus the Titans. I think this is a great matchup for Dobbins. You're probably putting him in your lineup anyways because he has been pretty successful this year, but I do like the matchup. I think the Titans are going to give us some decent yards. It's going to be a fun game to watch, but again, I think Dobbins is a great sleeper. So those are my start, sits, and sleepers for week 10 of the NFL season. Again, if you have questions, hit me up in the comments down below. Make sure you guys check out my other start and sit videos as well. Don't forget that subscribe button, hit that like button, and I'll check you guys out next time.